You decide the starting line.
Is one of the most insidious lies imaginable that replaces our common sense and lived experience with unproven theories and explanations from supposed experts. To fool nearly the entirety of humanity for multiple generations, stripping people of their common sense and replacing it with carefully crafted lies, is obviously a matter of serious importance. It is one of the most psychologically devastating things that could be perpetrated upon an individual. And seeing through it should be one of the most revealing revelations of a lifetime. So, when someone asks the foolish question of what difference does it make, that is already evidence of extreme psychological distortion. If knowing the truth doesn't matter to your life, what does that say about your life? The Level Earth is an epic epiphany that changes many people to their core, affirming their common sense, developing their critical thinking skills, and reigniting a spirit of discovery and adventure. In this way, the Level Earth revelation is holistically helpful and truly transformational for many on an individual level. Even more importantly, however, is if humanity succeeds in fully exposing this egregious lie and finally rooting out the liars, the beneficial ripple effect it will have throughout society is massive. Once these foundational facts are realized, these governments, universities, media outlets, and other entangled organizations suddenly and completely lose all credibility. The resulting mass mental exodus away from the control system is exactly what is needed. Essentially, once the Earth conspiracy is exposed, so is every other important conspiracy by proxy.
Toothpaste up your nose. Toothpaste up your nose. And it doesn't go up your nose. There's nothing to push it up your nose.
Yeah. Pear-shaped.
Forget it.
Forget it.
Then the world is flat.
It's flat.
Is the world flat?
That the world is flat.
The world is flat, right? The world, because the world is flat.
Or the world flat after all.
The world, she's flat.
Earth is flat.
The earth is flat.
Earth is flat?
Someone else says it's flat, and someone else says it's flat. That's worth reporting, because it's flat.
Time for a meeting of the Flat Earth. They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society.
That's worth reporting.
Explain this to me one more time.
There is one Level Earth question that is often used as a defense mechanism by stubborn globe defenders. It's more rhetorical than inquisitive, and tends to be their final discussion point before refusing to engage further with the subject. This question, formulated one.
Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged. Caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No ancestry arts caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Impossible truths like impeccable retards lined up for your serving of Gish Gallop and wars. No remedy can save the lost in love with the arm. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards. Poor science displayed by disgusting bards. So long seems like for love. I'm just too hard, just too hard. Welcome to the show.
Well, I've measured the diameter of this tabletop. You know, it's a round chipboard that they put on top of tables, so that later on I can, or you can calculate the circumference. But you're going to first of all calculate the circumference, assuming this is the Earth. Using a technique developed by a Greek sort of mathematician 1,800 years before Columbus discovered America, a long, long time ago, when most people didn't even realize the Earth was round. Yet he was able to not only see that the Earth was round, but calculate their circumference using 3 important measurements. Here are the 3 that you're going to use. First of all, we aim that directly at the sun at about noon, see, so that the shadow is at 0.
Okay.
Right like that. Now, what's the distance between this mark, which was one city, and another city up here? In our case, it's how many centimeters?
23 centimeters.
Okay, remember that, 23 centimeters. Then he also noticed the height of an object over here at the second city. What's our height of our object?
4 centimeters.
4 centimeters. Then he noticed the length of the shadow cast by this at the same time that that one was at 0. What's that one?
1.5.
Goes from 23 to 24.5.
Yeah.
Remember those 3 measurements,
Okay.
because with them, you're going to calculate the circumference of that Earth. Now, come on, let's go inside.
There. We've got everything down. We've got the length of the straw equals 4 centimeters. The distance between the straws is 23 centimeters, and the length of the shadow is 1.5 centimeters.
Right.
We got the diagram down, and we got part of it down there, and we got a yellow square here for me to do my calculations, but what am I supposed to calculate?
First of all, that's not a square, that's a rectangle. You know that, you know what, because you've said you've actually worked with circles and stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what we have to do.
We'll begin with your second shift duty, greeting and serving guests.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, I'd like to welcome you to your first official day.
And what are you by default? Well, they call you a flat earther. This is their own name. It's like conspiracy theorist. It is a controlled opposition name. You're just an earther. You're just a created being, a sentient, ensouled being having an experience. Just a created, a sentient, ensouled being having an experience. verified, demonstrated, proven. Not believing in the spinning ball doesn't require the rejection of any facts because the ball is a collection of unproven assertions. Believing flat Earth doesn't require belief. It's not a belief. And that's what all of the opponents of it get wrong. Flat Earth is not a belief. It's the absence of the spinning ball. Spinning ball. The Earth goes flat. But 2018 is the year that we awaken. 2018, we're going to become literate, cognizant of reality in a whole new way.
Let me ask you something.
Fluoride toothpaste awareness, find relief with non-fluoride toothpaste. What? Can you kick him out of my life?
Let me ask you something.
Beach ball. It is. He just don't. That stuff is flat.
Since the beginning of mankind, people thought the earth was flat. A giant disk underneath a firmament dome. The earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, science told us we live on a globe. A spinning ball shot into infinite space. They want us to believe that we're nothing but random stardust. Meaningless. But they're wrong. They lie. Wake up. The earth is flat. The earth is flat.
Hold on, I need some of my energy drink. Hold on, need my energy drink. Long night last night, now partying with my girlfriend, you know. Now I'm gonna get online. I'm gonna tell these flat earthers, you know, you can't just criticise anything, you know. You can totally just get on a rocket. Just get a rocket. Let's get our own rocket. Right, fuck it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, we just got together and just, you know, decided, you know, like, if we could do a meeting like at the UN or something, we could just decide that we was going to go to the moon, you know. Again, we could launch pad party on the moon. Hold on, need some of me energy drink. Hold on, need a little bit of me energy drink. Yeah, need a little bit of me energy drink. Hold up. Some Red Bull or something. Yeah.
To live 1,000 miles down your face. Everyone can be an astronaut real soon. Yeah, I wanna go to those. Everyone's gonna be an astronaut real soon. Be an astronaut real soon. Gonna be a party on the moon. Party on the moon. Gonna be a big party on the moon. Real soon. Everyone's an astronaut. We're gonna go to space. Everyone knows that it's all gonna be.
Well, maybe I'll fight Apollo, and maybe I won't, you know? What do you think? Adrian! Hey, I got another one! Oh, this is totally cool. Okay.
Not Cagney.
You dirty rat. Well, maybe I'll fight Apollo, and maybe I won't, you know? What do you think? Adrian! Hey, I got another one! Oh, this is totally cool. Okay.
Not Cagney.
You dirty rat.
It was a joke.
Just go to the moon.
Yeah, there'll be a day when AI takes over and it'll make us their pet.
What's your problem?
Has happened in the past.
I hear you. I don't want to be right about them killing babies after they're born.
I know you don't want to be right.
I don't want to be right about human.
You don't have to be. You don't. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you want to be right
here.
about it.
Glad to see you again. An idea of what magic white is. The big thing is, do not confuse it with gesso.
Everybody, very small.
I'm going to cover this town with a dome!
Fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium.
With them. Because Carrie can't know about the dome. The world was flat. You know the truth.
To shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time. I guess I'm up against the highest, hardest stained glass ceiling. And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. We have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. We are all standing under a glass ceiling right now.
Both of them do. Both of them do have a serious subtext, and it's the idea that we all live under the dome. We're all on planet Earth, and we're not going anywhere.
I do too. Do the serious, but the fact is, we all live under the dome.
If you add together sort of the three kinds of things that occupy the universe, the familiar matter, that's what we're made of and what our telescopes detect. The dark matter, that's the source of 85% of all the gravity we see in the universe, and we don't know what's causing it. And the dark energy, the stuff that's making us accelerate against the wishes of gravity. Each one of those components creates a curvature of the fabric of space and time, just as prescribed by Einstein's general theory of relativity. If you add those curvatures together, what you find is that they create a universe that is perfectly flat. Flat. Now, that's not the only shape the universe could have had. The universe could have negative curvature, and if it did, that would have we would have a saddle shape. And a negatively curved universe has a net positive energy. The universe is neither a spherical shape, the shape of a ball. That would be positive curvature, having net negative energy. Now, another way to get insight into this is to think about the energy of orbits. An object in orbit is gravitationally bound to what it circles. And bound orbits have negative gravitational energy. That's how we describe this system. Increase the elongation of the orbit by pumping energy, giving more speed to the object, and the circle distorts and becomes an ellipse. Give it even more speed, the ellipse gets more and more elongated. There's just the right amount of energy, just the right amount of extra speed you can give this object so that it goes so far away it never circles back. In fact, it escapes to infinity. At that point, that object and the system and the orbiting object and the object around which it formerly turned has zero total gravitational energy. And that path is formally called a parabola. Give the object even more energy, then it gets to infinity and keeps going. That has net positive energy, and we call that trajectory a hyperbola. Now, you've actually seen these shapes before at home. Take a flashlight. All flashlights have a cone of light that emerges from them. If you take it and aim it straight at a wall, it'll make a perfect circle. Take it and tip the angle just a bit. That circle distorts and you get an ellipse. Tip the flashlight so it's parallel to the wall, and you'll see the shape on the wall and it'll take the form of a parabola. Angle it a little more, it opens up even further and you get a hyperbola. Try that at home. So, these are what we call conic sections, intersections of a cone of light. And they relate to orbits and they relate to the energy that those objects have. Now, if your space-time is flat, just as if your orbit were a parabola, it means the universe, the entire universe, possesses zero net total energy. Think about that. If the shape of the universe were anything else, positively curved or negatively curved, it would not have zero energy. It would have negative energy or positive energy. We have zero net total energy. Now you wonder, is that good or bad? There's a silver lining to this. What it means is that you can create the entire universe out of nothing, because nothing has no net energy associated with it. Had the universe been endowed with either negative or positive energy, we'd be forced to confront the questions of what was the original source of energy that begat the universe? And if it had some amount of energy, why is it that amount and not some other amount? The fact that we live in a zero energy universe bypasses that line of questioning. And does it leave us content in our emptiness? Perhaps, but no less enlightened by the ignorance that led to it.
People, I think, recognize the need to do more and to meet this moment. People do encourage people to do the right thing, do just a nod and look, saying, hey, maybe you should reconsider just being out there on the beach, being 22 strong in a park. At home.
Well, I was doing the news last night with the Los Angeles. We're already doing it. Stragglers, folks still in the bubble, who are in the bubble don't really understand that they're a huge problem because they don't know they're sick. Their symptoms are pretty trivial, and so they are out there being vectors for infections, and we're realizing more and more that people who are asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic are a real issue.
The vector, that social vector of young people not paying attention, and I think they're getting the message, by the way. I'm going to
but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped,
numbers
but
don't lie.
it's
It's
has
undeniable.
to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has 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 to be. It is photoshopped, but it's
This
has
looks
to be.
fun.
It is
Are you
photoshopped,
going to the
but
moon?
It's
It's
has to
just
be.
boring
It is
space
photoshopped,
stuff
but
for babies,
has to
Daddy.
be.
It's not
It is
real.
photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
And topping this half hour, a new billboard in Detroit causing a lot of controversy.
Looks like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really saying so? Oh yeah, I got. Oh yeah, I got. Oh yeah.
The bill that is being contemplated by the Senate right now has a fund that has hundreds of billions of dollars for the Treasury Department to use to bail out states and localities as well as specific industries such as cruises and hotels. Will you commit publicly that none of that taxpayer money will go towards your own personal
Well, every
properties?
time I do it, like for instance, I committed publicly that I wouldn't take the $450,000 salary. It's a lot of money, whether you're rich or not. It's a lot of money, and I did it. Nobody cared. Nobody said thank you. Nobody said thank you very much. Now, I didn't commit legally. I just said, I don't want it. I don't want my salary. I work for zero. I don't want my salary. Nobody said, oh, thank you very much. But I guarantee you, if I ever took it, you would go out after me, you in particular, would go out after me like crazy. So I have no idea what they're talking about with regard to the one element. Everything's changing, just so you understand. It's all changing. But I have no idea. Instead of being thanked for, again, not agreeing to do it, but just for not doing it, I get excoriated all the time. So I've learned, let's just see what happens, because we have to save some of these great companies. There can be great companies literally in a matter of weeks. We have to save them. Yeah, please.
Yeah. I started to question things like my own beliefs and my own existence. Like, how does this work? What is the mind? Away with no real man left, because they've all turned. Realize, there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised. You'll find the truth will deep inside. When I see the sky. fly.
How would you like it if someone told you the truth?
Like what? What could they say?
He says the Earth is definitely flat.
Oh, now surely this is the right spot. Look at this. This area is filled with books about pretend people.
That's right, Grover. This is the fiction section. Fiction means it's a made-up story. 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 Fiction means it's a made-up story.
Fiction means it's a made-up story.
Some sunshine. Fiction means it's a made-up story. Fiction means it's a made-up story.
The coronavirus hoax. Governments love crises because when the people are fearful, they are more willing to give up freedoms for promises that the government will take care of inside their homes instead of going outdoors or to the beach where the sunshine and fresh air would help boost immunity.
500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat, and 15 minutes ago...
Time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change.
Postafazul. She's around, she's a firm, she's a fully packed, she's around like my head. She's flat like your head.
What's up, y'all? It's Flat Earth Bob here. I'm starting this GoFundMe because I would like to send one, if not multiple, satellites as far into space as I can, or into orbit as I can, to find the curve. I'm looking for the curve.
Knowledge that searchers of cosmic truths have arrived at. And in there is their enthusiasm, their excitement. You end up liking their subject even if you didn't care about their subject because they brought enthusiasm to it. Curmudgeon or anything, or just tall. I got one, you ready? Now, you know, I don't curmudgeon or anything. You don't see the curvature of the Earth. You just don't. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. So we could draw it that far back and say we are family.
Smoother than a velvet tongue likens to the lips of some elitist psychopath that's trying to take your shit. He makes your kids believe in falsity. Welcome to America Land, based on a Masonic fraud. Watch him applaud like Jerry Springer for an innocent's death. Now multiply by 1,000,000 and this country's all that's left. Spreading meth around the world through biker gangs and the feds. Not a war on drugs, a war on us, that's what it is instead. The dead and dying lying in hospital beds every day. And medical malpractice kills more than cigarettes anyway. Any day that we change it, there'll be conformists aplenty, acting like the chains we just shrugged off were really tempting entry to a higher echelon of social insanity, reserved for nerds doomed to consume the mental depravity. I had to see the darkness that was right outside the door, and now I've steeled myself, no fearing dead anymore. All the rappers who act, the whole robotic, Masonic, hypnotic propaganda's a trap. So many people buying the lies rather than dealing with facts. Because if they were, they'd be given the TSA and answer the acts. I'd rather your ass be reading than even bumping this track. The race gives heliocentrism a smack. Even your own perspective will prove the Earth's flat. Imagine that. Never trapped again by the same circle of logic. Globular prophets, Masonic hobbits, or a food that is toxic. Fiber optic cable stretching all over the world. But you still believe satellites are real. My lip curls in a sneer. The veneer of honesty on a throne of lies. While trap rappers acting like they're willing to kill or die. Why lie when most people know it's all a facade? Still so many choosing illusions over the truth and inside. Need no reply. Santa Claus and Mickey Mouse religion. A bunch of callow shout Y'all are materialists feeding the system, filling up the hearts of men with nothing but grief. Because the greatest form of control is blind faith-based belief. Speak the truth, dude, or truly speak not at all. You're not in the Milky Way, your ass is not on a spinning ball. Calling it as it is doesn't make me pessimistic. Not that most of the population would even know the definition. Robotic, Masonic, hypnotic propaganda's a trap. So many people buying the lies rather than dealing with facts. Cause if they were, they'd be given the taste, be reading and even bumping this track. Crepuscular rays gives heliocentrism a smack. Even your perspective proves the earth's flat. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Dubé steps on your track. Takes your chill vibe, breaks its spine, cracks his neck, kills your last verse. Still thinking you live on a ball that is wobbling, tilting and spinning through space many miles per second. Cause Freemason said so, and so you believe it, and couldn't conceive that you might be deceived by the very same people that gave you your preach. So you're probably not feeling this cognitive dissonance, triggering Christians and ballers believers.
Fake personas of all the rappers who act the whole robotic, Masonic, hypnotic propaganda's a trap. So many people buying the lies rather than dealing with facts. Cause if they were, they'd be given the TSA and answer the uneven bump in this track. Crepuscular rays gives heliocentrism a smack. Even your perspective proves the earth's flat. Imagine that.
In every nation and in every city, schools consider the shape of the earth a fundamental scientific fact, and that supposed fact is repeatedly taught from day one all the way through graduate school. Yet no one has seen this globe or its curvature or its effects, but it's still taught as a fundamental fact based solely on faith in our institutions. Much like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, the globe is truly a faith-based religious system with the Big Bang, gravity, and nature as our creators. In addition to incessant educational programming, the spherical Earth is shown in countless movies, television shows, video games, books, comics, newspapers, businesses, and websites. Pay attention. They put the sphere and the alleged curvature in nearly everything in the media. It is no exaggeration that every day there's a news story, new movie, picture, or show regarding so-called space supporting your understanding of the globe, Earth, and outer space.
Idea of going out into space with projects such as Apollo.
20 seconds out, we get a loud and clear, Frank Borman. All looks great.
As the astronauts went moonward, they could see the Earth. And to most people, this new view confirmed that the world is a globe, but not to everyone. And while in Apollo 8, the commander, Colonel Borman, mentioned the views of Mr. Samuel Shenton, president of the International Flat Earth Society, who lives in Dover and who believes the Earth is shaped like a gramophone record, with the North Pole in the middle and a wall of ice all round the edge.
Links very much with the statement which was given out by General Boardman, the astronaut. He spoke about the Earth in its early stages. The Earth in its early stages was revealed from the waters, and it was revealed as a four-square fabric.
Like this, in fact?
Absolutely like that.
And this is water around it?
Absolutely, yes, yes. The waters were dispelled from the Earth, and the whole thing was covered by a heaved-up structure, shamim in the Hebrew, a heaved-up structure actually in water.
What about the astronauts, then? If they didn't, in fact, go round the Earth, what did they go round?
Their track goes across the Earth's surface,
yes,
so much so that...
Here. The North Pole in the middle and the South Pole all round?
Yes. The astronauts fired off from Cape Canaveral, or Kennedy as it is today. They went on an egg-shaped orbit over this like that.
Keeping the same height all the time?
Absolutely so. Dr. Littleton said that to put a thing into orbit, you carry it up to a height and then level off.
What exactly is this line here?
Oh, those result from the camera photographing the horizon and the photographs result in these humped effects which people are presented with that they think the Earth is round.
In fact, there isn't any South Pole.
No, no, no. The 60,000 miles was around the ice barrier, and so far man has not gone across the ice barrier to investigate any further.
And I wonder if everything now is so stereotyped and conventional that independent thought is stifled early on. And if so, does school play a part in the stifling? I decided to ask the boys of Homewood House, near Tunbridge Wells, whether they accepted everything that their masters told them, or whether they were ready to strike out along an independent line. Why does snow fall down? It's water freezing.
And it's too heavy to be held up by the atmosphere, so it falls down.
Why does it fall down? This is the point.
Gravity.
Gravity, yes. Now, what's gravity? Do you know?
Newton's
Yes, I want one at a time. What do you think gravity is?
Well, it is, as it says, a push or a pull, which makes things fall towards the earth.
This is what you've been told, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you ever tried to prove it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you throw a stone up in the air, it comes down again,
I know
doesn't
it
come
does.
behind.
What would you say, for example, of someone who said that the universe ended in a blank wall? Would you think this was reasonable?
No, it's illogical. That is what's on the other side.
Come on, you haven't had to say yet. What do you think about it all?
Well, if it does end at the wall, what's on the other side of the wall? There can't be just nothing. There's got to be something.
If on the other hand, if on the other hand the universe doesn't end, then it's got to go on forever, hasn't it? Well, can you imagine that?
No.
Of course you can't.
It's like a road, never ending and never beginning.
Do you ever question this? I mean, do you ever think that everything that we are taught, I'm not talking about religion at the moment, everything that we are taught about science particularly, just could be wrong, and there may be some frightful flaw that nobody's thought about? Has it ever occurred to you? Something really fundamental. I mean, either mathematics or science itself, or anything you like. What would you say then? Any other?
The molecule structure
Yes,
might be
here we are.
wrong.
The molecule structure might be wrong.
I mean, the molecules that we know are based on carbon.
Ah, now, who told you this?
Our science master.
And you just accept it?
Naturally, because I can't think of anything else that it could be made up of.
I see, well, that's a jolly good reason.
Some unheard of thing.
Very fair. They think for themselves, but perhaps only within certain limits. We must accept some things, I know that, but there's a danger that we're going to turn into regimented sheep if we accept too much. Or have we already done it? And I very much fear that I'm one of these sheep already. I've become ultra-conventional. I believe that the Earth is a planet, a globe nearly 8,000 miles across going around the Sun. I believe that the Moon is another globe going around the Earth, that the Sun is a star, and that the other stars are themselves suns. And I base this upon what I hope is reasonable interpretation of the facts as I've been told them, and the things that I've seen through this telescope. What the independent thinker has to do is to start absolutely from scratch, look out into the universe, take what he sees there, and then put his own independent opinion on it without bothering about anybody else. And this is exactly what has been done by Mr. John Bradbury of Ashton-under-Lyne, who's thrown all orthodoxy out of the window and has constructed a picture of the universe that is all his own, based partly upon theory and partly upon observations made with his strictly unorthodox telescope. But Mr. Bradbury, this looks like a conventional telescope, but I gather it isn't.
No, it's far from being a conventional telescope because it isn't split up in the lenses. Most of the lenses in this telescope are at the eye.
Down here,
the
you mean?
eyepiece end, yes. Yes, there's only one object lens at the other end.
What's the purpose of having so many lenses?
Well, you can't get the power without. You must have the power to bring the object very much closer. With a conventional telescope, you can't do that.
I would have thought that every time you passed a beam of light through an extra lens, you'd lose a bit of light.
Yes, that is so, that you do lose light. But looking at objects in the sky, you don't need to lose it.
Looking at your map of the Earth, it looks to me as if you've got the North Pole in the middle and all directions are south. Is this correct?
Yes, it is correct in that method.
What about gravity?
Sir Isaac Newton, when he was in an orchard in Lincolnshire, saw an apple fall from the tree, and he brought out his theory of gravity, that the gravity had drawn this apple to the ground. Yet he didn't make a law which held the other apples on. Now, he also said that if you could stand a needle up on its point without any support, he would believe that the world wasn't going round. Naturally, I had to bring out a new theory to prove the shape of the world, the shape of the Earth too, you see.
Which is what you've done.
Yes, that is it. And you see, no matter where we are on the Earth's surface, we will always be pulled back to the centre.
And that's why you can't go to the edge of the Earth,
Yes, you cannot go to the edge of the Earth.
Well, let's have a look at the actual diagram of the Earth itself, shall we? This, I think, is very interesting. Here we are. Now, I know that you've got the Earth as with a flat top and kind of a round underneath. Is this correct?
Yes, that is quite so. Yes. You see, this is more like a jigsaw puzzle. You can't complete it without a flat-topped Earth.
So this is the entire universe, in
Yes,
fact?
yes. You see, you've got the full metallic stony background, and this, of course, was where the flow of magnetism is.
What's this line down here?
Now, this line is for the sub-semi-vacuum. It divides the pure vacuum from the semi-vacuum which surrounds the Earth itself.
What about the Sun and Moon?
The Moon?
It's a flat disk, is it?
Not actually flat. It is slightly convex, but not much on the surface. Now, it is a disk of carbon.
The Moon's made of carbon?
Just carbon,
yes.
just a carbon disk, which shows in this.
Yes.
This I saw 2 years ago on the harvest moon, September moon. And this material here is plasticine phosphorus, or a material very, very similar to that.
But where does that come from? Where does the plasticine phosphorus actually picked up?
It's circulating in the atmosphere. When the moon's waning, it allows it to go off, and when it's waxing, it picks it up again. Now, this illustration here is of more of the moon itself, with a finger-like projection coming over the top. This happened in 1953, and the finger-like projection stayed on for 3 days.
There was only one there, was there?
There was only one, yes, definitely one. I built another telescope, and I used an astronomer's telescope too, to prove whether I was right or not, but I couldn't see it with the astronomer's telescope.
And was this due to the plasticine phosphorus spreading over the moon gradually?
Yes, but I think it picked a little more up than it should have done, you see. The surface of the moon, the thickness of the surface is around about 1 inch. This has been really worked out. Mathematically, it's really been worked out.
What incidentally about the Sun? Do you think the Sun is small also?
The Sun would be, I should think, about twice the size of the moon, because it can, the moon can go in the front of the Sun and cover the whole Sun up. And that is why the Sun really is only twice the distance from of the moon.
And of course the Sun presumably is very much hotter than the moon.
Yes, if we speak of hot as hot, but the Sun actually is cold. It's
I
very,
see.
very cold indeed, because we couldn't get a lot of heat. The Sun wasn't cold, you see.
You know, I think you're going to be the first to admit that these ideas and theories of yours are not conventional ones.
Correctly, yes.
Well, I know that you've also given lectures at various universities. I mean, I wasn't at your lecture at Cambridge University or at Keele, but I heard about the people who were. And how do you find that other people react to your ideas?
Well, some people, of course, when it's all explained thoroughly, they will accept it. But if it isn't explained thoroughly, well, of course, they think we're nutcases or something, you see.
Well, Mr. Bradbury hasn't yet started his photographic experiments, but when he does so, I am sure that the results will be truly remarkable. Let me concede that I don't pretend to agree with his theories, but I have the greatest admiration for him as a man who's had the moral courage to break clean away from every semblance of conventionality, strike out for himself, and lecture publicly about it with no fear of ridicule or scorn. To me, Mr. Bradbury is the supreme example of the independent thinker.
The Earth was flat as a pizza.
The Earth ain't flat.
Looks incredibly flat.
That stuff is flat. Flat.
That is that. You can't put above it all. And that's that. Unless the world is flat.
Flat.
Unless the world is flat. Pull on the hill, see the world spinning round.
Flat.
Oh, you're no longer on the ball. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. This is it.
Flat.
Things go round, these things go round, these things go round, these things go round, and leave you blind. Here come old flat top, he flat top, he flat top, flat top, he flat top, he flat top. The Earth ain't flat.
Flat.
That is that. You can't put above it all. And that's that. Unless the world is flat.
Flat.
Unless the world is flat. Pull on the hill, see the world spinning round.
Flat.
Oh, you're no longer on the ball. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. This is it.
Flat.
Things go round, these things go round, these things go round, these things go round, and leave you blind. Here come old flat top, he flat top, he flat top, flat top, he flat top, he flat top.
We start that stuff that then become cool. We start them trends that then become rules. Leaving stickers on hats at your kids with a spoons. Hey, yo, I'm up in this club with more secrets than Freemasons.
Flat.
Disappear like the career of Kevin Costner while we sitting here drinking beers with Jimmy Hoffa.
That's my eyeball looking at you from the pyramid on cash. We're so bad we can make an iPad run flash. Got more secrets than deodorant.
That then becomes cool. Illuminati starts a trend that then become cool. Illuminati.
NASA's missions to the moon were never completed. They just filmed them in a room and people believe it. I used to wonder what it's like to be an astronaut. Now when I see them acting, I can't help but to laugh a lot. They give us cartoons and they claim that we live on a ball. But it's flat and it's not moving or spinning at all. Why you lying to us, man? That's something that we want to know. After that, you're gonna have to pack up all your stuff and go. History has been rewritten by winners of wars. The Jesuit order, Khazars, Freemasons, and more. They pulled the veil over our eyes, and it's time to awaken. Through organized indoctrination, our minds have been taken. It's time we take our power back and we rescue our people. The Vatican and the Bakers are like Resident Evil. They may have had the greatest plan that was ever concocted, but Illuminati never thought that they'd ever be spotted. They're manufacturing reality all in our heads. They tell us if the earth is flat, then we'll fall off the edge. But if it is a spinning ball, we won't fall off it then. And gravity is our imaginary magic friend. Why is water always flat when unmanipulated? Why are pictures of the earth computer generated? Why you lying to us, man? That's something that we want to know. After that, you're gonna have to pack up all your stuff and go.
Flat.
Знаете, вот ты
Вижте,
сказал, что вроде чести космонавтов, что они не говорят о том космосе. А им говорить нечего. Я об этом
кара космонавтите да говорят за това, което става в космоса. Те просто не знаят нищо такова. Ние не сме били в космоса. Ако някой твърди това, това не е вярно, не е истина.
Flat.
Това е добре, когато хората мислят. Това ми харесва.
Rzeczywiście jest kulą zawieszoną w kosmosie?
Jest płaska. Tak jak oczekują i nie spodziewałem się co prawda tego pytania, ale zapewniam pana, że jest płaska.
Generał Mirosław.
Flat.
I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and because we didn't go there, and because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So
flat.
I am very glad to be able to express my friendly feelings towards the American nation. Friendship with which Italy looks at the millions of citizens who from Alaska to Florida, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, live in the United States, is today deeply rooted in our hearts. This feeling, created by mutual interests, so contributed to the preparation of an ever brighter era in the life of both nations. I grieve the wonderful energy of the American people, and I see and recognize among you sons of your land as well as ours, my fellow citizens, who are working to make America great. Working to make America great.
And yes, together we will make America great.
Flat.
To make America great.
Again.
Flat earthers, why don't you go to the freaking edge?
I think I'm a flat earther. The earth is flat, people.
You type it in, and up comes everybody else who shares that exact idea. And so the tribalization now can cut through the population in other ways that have not been traditional.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have the rise of flat earthers, right? They've all found each other. There used to be the lone person at the party that say this who you know. Now they all have banded together, and so I don't think this is good as a general fact, because it's appealing to some base sort of caveman tribal element that we know is still in us.
Yeah.
And that they create a universe that is perfectly flat. Flat. Now. Flat. Now, if your space-time is flat, think about that. Flat. Now, it's flat. Think about that. Sort of flattened circle. Why aren't they some other shape? And you say, you know, I don't know. I'll get back to you. What you find is that they create a universe that is perfectly flat. Flat. So, flat. To research it. Flat. Research it.
I am very glad to be able to express my friendly feelings towards the American nation.
Pick up everyone here in the chat room. Thank you very much. Yeah, all right, everybody. Have a lovely evening. And let's do this again sometime. Big up everyone here. Yeah, big up everyone here. So I'll do it again soon. Yeah, man, y'all be good. Peace, guys.
The T-shirt.
What did you want to know about it? I haven't really looked at it that much. No, I don't really remember. To some degree.
I do.
Do you think of yourself primarily as a singer?
To some degree. It's time to really. When's that? To some degree. No, I don't foresee it, but it's to some degree. Intoxicated to some degree. To some degree. The words. To some degree.
The words, can you hear it?
To some degree, which I would know the words to put to.
You'd say that.
Yes, to some degree. Not with the guitar though.
Man, that's the best idea since they faked the moon landing.
Okay, cut.
Like that ground control guy during the moon landing.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Roger that, Neil. We came in peace for all the peoples of the earth.
Wow, Neil Armstrong. Hey, wait a minute. You're supposed to be on the moon. I just saw it on TV.
Oh, there's a tape delay and with all solar winds.
We read you, Neil. We chose to go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Had a lot of help down here, Neil. We have slipped the surly bonds of Earth and... Grab some rocks, Neil. Throw them in a bag. We'll get you home safe and sound.
You don't think that you're going to accept a chip in your brain that's going to let you see the future? Right. That's ridiculous. You're going to take it. You're going to get that operation. Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
They're so stupid!
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
What a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah, really.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
The pressure difference between the inside of the plane and the outside.
Then you have a leak.
You are stupid. 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 And don't forget, you are stupid.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
Curvature? No.
No? There's no curvature?
It's just all flat.
What's up? What's up, pilots? Is the Earth flat or round?
Flat.
Thanks. I'm with you.
As you may know, SoundCloud is a paid service that Tanster uses to host her audio recordings. She shared on her blog, how on earth is this possible? One person gave Tanster 9 likes and 3 shares? Of course not. Clearly, SoundCloud's numbers are being artificially manipulated. But why would a platform do this to a paying customer, you ask? Well, let's look at that post's comment section. Integrity by buying fake likes and comments. They are pushing Tanster to lie and deceive her audience with paid-for shills. This immoral practice is loudly condemned by the public when a business is caught doing it, and yet SoundCloud is pressuring Tanster to do exactly that. They mess with her numbers, and then they facilitate these spammers hawking an unethical and immoral form of deceptive advertising. Wow, man. That is appalling. Hey, Ron. You wanted to see me? Yeah, Andre. Tell me about this big project you and your team have been working on. Oh, you heard about that? See, Ron, it hasn't really... Just tell me about the damn project. Sure, no problem. We actually have been working on it for months. See, it's a huge psyop about a psyop. It's very meta. We unleash this huge psyop. It affects the whole planet. Tanster will immediately know it's a huge psyop because that is something she always seems able to do. Because she's so obsessively crazy with the truth, she will be forced to call it a psyop. Because it is a psyop. That's what she does. So, how does that help a client? This is the beauty part. There are really injured people as a part of this psyop. Therefore, if Tanster calls it a false flag, she will offend the people who are really injured. Our media puppets will then broadcast their stories. Great. So she'll be labeled inhumane. Oh no, Ron. It's even better. See, We have been peppering in the news media that only Chinese terrorists call things psyops. Since Tanster has now been forced by us to call something a psyop, and Chinese terrorists call things psyops, Tanster's obviously a Chinese terrorist. We just keep saying Tanster Chinese terrorist over and over and over and over and over. Different wording. Lots of headlines. She'll be ruined. Perfect. Great idea. You just got yourself a raise. Thanks. But it hasn't really worked. What? Wayne, that's not. It's flawless. We can call Tanster a Chinese terrorist. But she didn't bite. Tanster hasn't exposed her obvious hysteria psyop. But that's all anyone's talking about. I know she doesn't watch any of our media anymore, so she doesn't even see most of our stuff. But she couldn't have missed this one. Yeah, Jackie thinks Tanster spotted our psyop trap and just skipped it. How does she do it? Okay, then. What did Pray Tell is Tanster talking about this week?
Hi guys, welcome to the video.
Earth is flat.
Focus Tour, WW Weight Watchers Reimagined, and I join forces to bring you candid conversations with some of the world's most famous trailblazers, whose story of wellness will empower you. One of the things I wanted to do, channel their fame, do well.
So what we do is we do research. Is I want a mental health professional.
Indeed. Lady Gaga gave up her vacation.
Knowledge that searchers of cosmic truths have arrived at. And in there is their enthusiasm, their excitement. You end up liking their subject even if you didn't care about their subject because they brought enthusiasm to it.
Now we've got an interesting question from Cody, again here with us in Liverpool, and that's going to lead us into our next activity. Cody, go ahead.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate what you do. Godspeed. Have a great rest of the day.
We're doing science inside. We're doing science outside. We're doing science inside. We're doing science. We're doing science inside. We're doing science outside. 6 tons of science. Knock out that science. Absolutely. Floating around doing science all day, every day. That's the job of this place, is just rocking the science. We're doing science inside. We're doing science outside. We're doing science inside. We're doing science. We're doing science inside. We're doing science outside. Cranking away and getting great results back to Earth. Doing some great work against the cancer to help humanity. That's the job of this place, is just rocking the science.
Station, this is Houston ACR.
Thank you. That concludes our event.
And for Mission Control Houston, thanks for all the participants there at Space Center Houston. Really fun event, great questions. And station, we are now resuming operational audio communication.
Like, is the Earth flat? Like, I think if we are just suddenly saying, like, we believe this to be true, because it looks so I think most people think it's flat.
Now, here's something else that's
We about to flat smack.
Look at this
Globus,
car.
get your backpack. I'm with my flat pack. Globus in the trash sack. As a mutual equidistant map up on my snapback. Flat smack.
Edge of the flat Earth. I guess anything.
Hold on, I need some of me energy drink. The Earth is flat.
The schoolroom globes.
Think about it. You've seen the pictures, right? Right.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Nobody has a monopoly on what is a very hard problem, but I don't have much patience for anyone who denies that this challenge is real. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Society.
The earth is flat.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
He recently said that he believes the world is flat.
Do you actually age less in space because there's no gravity?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. We wish that were the case, and I think cosmetically maybe we look a little bit younger if we have, I think, fewer wrinkles sometimes because we have this upward shift of everything without gravity pulling our skin down. But realistically, there actually is a toll on our bodies physiologically and medically, and that's part of the reason why all these experiments are so important. We have seen certain physiological systems, like our arteries, for example, do age faster up here than they do on Earth. So it's really important that we keep the toll on our bodies physiologically and medically, and the toll on our bodies physiologically and medically, and we can
Research Flat Earth.
You keep going.
Johnny Basher via Twitter wants to know what would happen if the Earth stopped rotating for a second.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous. Disastrous, because right now, here in New York, you can calculate at our latitude, we are all moving with the Earth at 800 miles an hour. Due east. Earth is rotating. If you stopped Earth and you were in seat belt buckled to the Earth, you would fall over and roll 800 miles an hour due east. It would kill everyone on Earth. People would be flying out of windows, and that would just be a bad day on Earth. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If somehow we all slow down, so anything not bolted to the Earth would fly due east 800 miles an hour. That's what happens to you in a car. If you hit a brick wall and you're not wearing a seatbelt, you keep going. You keep going. You keep going. You keep going.
I really love balancing stones. Balancing stones. It looks so still and quiet.
You keep going.
Johnny Basher via Twitter wants to know what would happen if the Earth stopped rotating for a second.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous. Disastrous, because right now, here in New York, you can calculate at our latitude, we are all moving with the Earth at 800 miles an hour. Due east. Earth is rotating. If you stopped Earth and you were in seat belt buckled to the Earth, you would fall over and roll 800 miles an hour due east. It would kill everyone on Earth. People would be flying out of windows, and that would just be a bad day on Earth.
The
lies. It's flat, a material plane. You got the balls on the brain, heliocentric insane. No matter how high we rise, even up into the skies, the horizon is your eyes. They told us it was a globe, just so they could control our mind, body, and soul. Born into a brainwashed society, had you believing in the ball since you were age 3. Scientism, the new religion, put you inside a prison while constantly drilling that you live in a solar system. Space, the final frontier, keep them hooked with Hollywood. New movies every year, we've been hypnotized. All we've been told is lies in a heliocentric haze, says Copernicus staked his claims. They tried to hide the truth. The fake landing on the moon was because they needed proof. So they had Apollo take a picture of the globe outside the window for the television show. Was it a painting or photo? I think math for the intro and Dubé for the info. Yeah, they put me in the know that NASA is just a show. Sayonara to the globe, cause it's flat, I'm gonna go.
By turning Earth into a spinning ball thrown around the sun and shot through infinite space from a godless Big Bang, they turned humanity into a random, meaningless, purposeless accident.
The Earth is flat. What you know about that? Waking up in real life, 500 years of the lies. It's flat. They mess with our brains. Terra firma remains a flat and motionless plane. No matter how high we rise, even up into the skies, the horizon meets your eyes. NASA lies to our face. There's such a big disgrace. Never been to outer space. They try to hide the truth with pseudoscience proof to brainwash the youth. They told us it was a globe just so they could control our mind, body, and soul. It's flat, the material plane. You got the balls on the brain, heliocentric insane. Infinite plane or a dome, it may never be known, but the Earth is our home. Yeah, want all my flat earthers out there to sing along? Yeah, come on. The Earth is flat. It's flat. Earth is 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 flat. The Earth is flat.
The biggest cover-up and conspiracy in history. We've been completely deluded for 500 years.
Our solar system, this is space, the infinite frontier.
Hey, Linda! What was it like inventing the space shuttle?
I didn't invent the shuttle.
Well, I wonder, whoever did made a lot of money. Hey, Linda, when are we going to finally get over to Mars?
Well, there is a manned expedition being discussed.
No, I mean you and me. We can make an evening of it.
Look at the sunrise. You ever see anything that beautiful? Besides me, I mean?
Get over yourself, Kazansky.
Oh, come on, you're attracted to me.
All right, just pass me that wrench.
I think some debris hit the telescope.
Ed White is flying at 17,000 miles per hour, 200 miles above the Earth.
Okay, I'm out.
Nothing sus.
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. Like, we'd have way better CGI if it was fake.
It looks so fake. It's gotta be real. It looks so real. It's gotta be fake. It looks so fake. It's gotta be real. It looks so real. It's gotta be fake.
I'm Chris Hadfield, and I have a mustache. I'm Chris Hadfield, and I have a mustache.
I've been a space enthusiast since I was 4 years old. Getting to work on a mission like this, dude, it's a dream come true. To me, Dawn is truly Earth's first interplanetary spaceship.
No other spacecraft has
Gone to a distant body, gone into orbit around it, maneuvered there, then broken out of orbit, traveled elsewhere in the
solar system to another
alien world,
and gone into
orbit around it. And it does that with ion propulsion, which I first heard of in a
Star Trek episode.
Which I first heard of in a Star Trek episode.
And in case there are any conspiracy theorists out there, how would you prove to us that you're in zero gravity?
So, what do you think? We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Is it really possible to suffer cold symptoms in space? You bet it is. It happened to me on Apollo 7, and it could happen on the new space shuttles, too. That's why all manned U.S. space flights carry Actifed. Even in space, Actifed relieves a stuffy nose and sinuses, runny nose and sneezing. But you don't have to travel into space to get full-strength Actifed. It's available without a prescription, right here on Earth. Actifed, the cold tablet most recommended by doctors. Now in capsules and 12-hour capsules.
Well, it's a real meal. 2 tantalizing entrees, a medium drink, and dessert. All for $2.89. Choose from 3 delicious combinations.
The Best of Times, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 31st at Select Theater.
That word takes on new meaning. It don't mean what you're thinking. It means full spectrum dominance for real. And you won't be born unless you have a function to fulfill. One small step for man.
Here is my death.
I went to Paris and France, found little romance. She loves walking down the boulevard. I know I should have been good. Never thought that I would. Double crossing, baby, cross my heart. Put a little rockin' and a little wine. Some me thinking about a little Valentine. What's a lonely boy to do? She looks so fine. How silly can you get? Yeah, yeah. How silly can you get? Ooh, yeah. I never ever meant to stay. Wish you looked at me that way. The night was young and glittery, made me forget. How silly can you get? Yeah, yeah. How silly can you get?
This world is not what you think it is.
All the time, I don't know who to let the light. I really never just in my arms to hold tonight. I woke next day on my own. A little birdie had flown. Left the number of the telephone. I walked right out on the street, spilling a hole in my jeans. Piece of paper with a message on. Should I call her up or should I tear it up? Think I'll call her up, then we can rip it up. What's a lonely boy to do? She looks so fine. How silly can you get? Yeah, yeah. How silly can you get? Ooh, yeah. I never ever meant to stray. But when she looked at me that way, when I was young and get ready, made me forget. How silly can you get? Yeah, yeah. How silly can you get? Ooh, yeah. I didn't need it all the time. I don't know who to let the light. I only know she's in my arms to hold tonight. I went to Paris with friends, found a little romance. She was walking down the boulevard. I know I should have been good. Never thought that I would. You double crossing, baby, cross my heart. A little rockin' and a little love. Stop me thinking about that little girl of mine. How could I be so cruel, my pet? Silly can you get?
Every 100 feet, runs it through there and vents it out to you over a period of time. For me, I've been just watching and enjoying. Like he said, he was hoping that Bush reads the book or gets it on tape or at least sees some pictures.
What's going to happen as the world goes flat? No one's talking about it. And I think, so first of all, there's just a huge education responsibility and opportunity here. What world we're living in.
I really see a connection between the flattening that Earth.
This crisis.
Every time I talk to you, I wanted to present you with the Google Web Accelerator Boomerang.
Oh, wow.
And the reason is for
the year was 1933.
These Masons wanted to do something unusual. I want to do. Perhaps I can give you a. I'm feeling lucky.
First of all, it's a flat world. This is a Rubik's Cube. Future in a flat world. This is basically a world. This is, you don't know it, but this is taking everything that you take from every 100 feet, runs it through there and vents it out to you over a period of time. You have a ball. I don't know what this is. Even Magritte is going, I would not paint it. Going, get ready. Look at us. We have, well, look at the royal family. It's basically Deliverance staged by Fortnum and Mason. Well, look at the royal family. It's basically Deliverance staged by Fortnum and Mason. Fortnum and Mason.
Hi, I'm every man. Hi. And you? You could take a little sailboat. Well, my jet ski. Putt-putt. There you go. Well, what if the water gets on you, though? Let's say you're on a freeway.
The world is not flat. This is called gravity, okay? So gravity is a real thing.
Going 60 miles an hour. Yeah? You put your hand out the window, and now they have imitation crab meat. Soon they'll have imitation tuna, imitation swordfish, imitation wahoo. They imitation wahoo? Not yet. Really? But if they pollute all the oceans, they'll start working on that. On the rainforest? You ever see the rainforest before they were cut down? No. They're going to take a vacation there? No. Did you ever want a vacation in the rainforest? No, I didn't. What's your name again? Every man. Every man.
Thinks Earth is flat.
And Galileo, you know the guy from Believe the Earth is Flat?
It wasn't a question. I just want to tell everyone to the flat Earth.
The Earth is flat.
Yep, that's absolutely true. The movie Gravity.
The law of gravity is nonsense.
It kind of flattens out. Yeah.
Flat Earth in flat Earth in flat Earth in Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Flat Earth in Earth is flat.
Is flat.
Earth is flat. Earth is flat.
I'm not representing the globe.
And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. I kind of like the absurdity of that.
If you were able to look through the perspective of a person who thinks the world is flat, you would see this.
And the person feels enlightened.
The North Pole is right here in the center. The continents splayed out over this plain. And here on the edges, you'd run into a 150-foot wall of ice.
That's my conversion. Yeah, I dabble around it. So what's with the flat Earth
Yeah,
thing?
Eddie, like a lot of people are like, Eddie, really? But tell us why.
And the person feels enlightened.
Yes. Yes, please.
And how far that ice goes outwards. And when people try to go down there, they get turned away.
Light in the sky that move around just above the Earth's surface. Percent of Americans agree with the statement, I have always believed the world is round. 84%. And if you're 18 to 24, that's more like 66%, which is like dangerously close to half
of gravity and physics. This video is not a debunk of flat Earth theory. That doesn't need to happen, that shouldn't need to happen. What the world is flat. So, the plane wasn't dipping. The level was flat.
Even though literally in elementary school, I was taught that Christopher Columbus and like his voyage was somehow to prove that the Earth was round or maybe it was flat and that there was like some debate around that. That's actually a total legend and I have no idea why I was taught that in elementary school. How did that happen? I actually am genuinely curious. Like, how did that happen? So, really flat, really flat, really flat. But then eventually it died out. Until just a few years ago.
And the person feels
The world is flat. So
Global 33 receiving okay. Global 33 receiving okay.
30 degrees west.
After we pass 30 west. Global flight 33. 30 west, 03. Flight level.
Anywhere level. Anywhere level.
Ground speed. Global 33 to weather. Global 33 to weathership Charlie. Global 33 to weathership Charlie. Global 33 to weathership Charlie. What about Charlie? Nothing, sir. I can't raise them.
2100.
Televisions by the people. Televisions by the people. You don't fool us, we know you're evil. You don't fool us, we know you're evil. And your face should be illegal.
Our name is the Flat Earth Research Society. We have research. We have learned.
Charles, we have seen pictures of the round globe.
Are you serious, Wally? I mean, in other words, your proof is. I saw it on TV.
No, I've seen it from an airplane. It's round.
Oh, you got it from an airplane.
But Charles, are you saying everybody else is wrong and you people are the only ones who are right?
Absolutely. But don't get excited. The average person over 40 or 50 years old knows that the Earth is flat.
But Charles, if the Earth was flat, you'd go driving along, or you'd be in a boat going, and you'd reach the end, and you'd fall off the Earth.
You've got backwards. If the world were a globe, a ball, and if you tried to get to Australia, you'd go over the edge. Any direction you went, you'd go over the edge. Only a globe has an edge. Obviously and logically, a flat Earth would not have an edge.
The black left eye is part of a cult.
This is a common theme. I'm gonna start seeing in public. Under the celebrity one day. Black left eye! Black left eye! So these elites stand in public without a care in the world. When it's fading one day. Black left eye! Black left eye! It's more than a coincidence. What's going on then? Why not the right eye? Why is it only the black left eye? Black left eye!
Seen sporting a black left eye are part of the Illuminati. So Elizabeth Hurley, Boy George and Robert Downey Jr. are among the A-listers who have been photographed with bruising in the eye area in recent years. The former US President George W. Bush, along with the Pope, I'd love to give him a black eye.
Why just the left eye? Was it a ritual? What was done to you and why? Why?
But we've all become accustomed to them covering up the eye as a mark of homage to the fact that they worship Satan, or at the very least, they've sold their souls.
We are taking you on a trip into the future to visit galaxies millions of light years away, which means astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson is here.
Yeah, he is. He's the host and executive science editor of the Third Cosmos. I know you're here to promote it, but you got to tell us what you find.
Well, so, I don't mean to reveal a secret, but that was all green screen.
He's back from Saturn. He is back from Saturn.
Didn't really go to Saturn on that one. Third one, Enceladus, it's one of the places in the solar system, it's a moon, that has an ocean of liquid water beneath a frozen layer of ice. And one of NASA's mantras over the years has been third, and the person feels enlightened. You know, third, and one of the hallmarks, one of the DNA, and the person feels enlightened together.
Bring us along for the ride.
Along for the ride.
Other than the entertainment value, obviously.
And the person feels enlightened.
What do you want folks to take away?
First, and we realized sometime in the past, there was an explosion. The gaping hole. We blew out very hot gas.
How big are we talking? I understand that when we're talking on super galactic scales, the numbers don't mean anything. It's like it's too big of a number for us to understand.
Very hot gas. that came out of this gaping hole and blew out in the center of its ass.
We scratching their heads. A lot of people. Why are you saying?
I'm just saying.
A lot of people.
So, first of all,
worried
let me
about
make
her?
it clear
Yes.
that's not an opinion. I measured the size of her head, measured her eyeballs. Those are measurements. I didn't just pull that out of the ether.
That's science.
That's science.
A lot of people. And now I do. A lot of people. Wonderful to see you. Now I do.
Wonderful to see.
Now I do.
I think we're in the middle of a massive experiment worldwide. And that
where are
is...
the guinea pigs?
Maybe. The experiment is, will people listen? People. Cautions. These are warnings offered by scientists for our own good. And it seems to me if we all freak out, right, live in a life lived in fear is a life lived. So people on by, and then we kicked its ass. So you don't want to. I'm just.
I hope we win.
On by.
And then
we.
Okay.
Yes.
A happy landing for Russia's unmanned Luna 17 spacecraft and a big step forward for Soviet scientists in Lenin's Jubilee year. The first self-propelled vehicle ever to drive across the lunar landscape is controlled from Earth.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society.
Let's start with Christopher Columbus. What do you know about him? Oh, we get out of school.
One, and here's how this extraordinary Heath Robinson 8-wheeler was rolled down from the spacecraft onto the Sea of Rains.
Scientists have just discovered or observed the largest explosions.
Super galactic scales, the numbers don't mean anything. It's like it's too big of a number for us to understand.
The size of the vehicle hasn't been disclosed, but it's been sending back television pictures and carries, among other equipment, a laser reflector. It's been used to survey the moon's surface. So now Soviet space experts have proved their theory that space exploration can be carried out by automatic
have to tell us, is the Earth flat or not flat?
Equipment without risking the lives of astronauts. To Russia, Lunokhod is worth its weight in moon dust.
Łaska. Generał Mirosław Hermaszewski, jak dotąd pierwszy.
Anyway, that's how I escaped from space prison. Oh, scary place.
Well, Rick.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. 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 It is, but it's has to be.
It's not
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped.
Quality writing makes your schoolwork better.
You know a lot of people.
In order to beget power, and we can give them to you. I know everyone.
Geographic? Really? Where are they? Well, they're in Antarctica. What's Where?
Antarctica.
What's special about Antarctica besides polar ice caps?
Well, it's got snow, it's got polar bears.
You want snow, you go to Maine, you go to Canada, you go to Vermont, you have little bed and breakfast place there, you get a little chalet.
Yeah, but
you don't need to go to Antarctica.
That's true. And then you have your skin cancer.
You never heard of sunscreen?
No.
You can't put on a little 15 or 22? What are you, a baby?
No.
If it's really bad, you put on 32, 42?
42?
If it's that bad, drink your life. It hurts your lungs.
Boy, it
it's
does.
yellow out there.
Oh, brown, that's
on
brown.
those days, you stay inside.
Yeah?
You close your windows.
Okay.
Or you walk across the street to the mall.
Mall?
What's the matter with the mall?
Oh, nothing.
You don't like malls?
I love them.
You better.
I do.
You could spend a whole day there on a floor. You wouldn't see the whole thing.
Really?
On one level. They got everything there, right?
Everything? That's
Sure.
what I'm thinking about.
They
That.
got cashew shops.
Oh,
they got sneaker stores.
Nothing but sneakers. The sneakers
Right.
and things.
Aren't they wonderful?
That's wonderful. I go
And
in.
food?
Food is
You can have
incredible.
any kind of food
Oh, anything you want.
You can have Chinese food.
Lithuanian?
Right.
Well, maybe not
Mexican
now.
food.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
You can have Mexican food, Chinese
Mexican
food.
yogurt, I bet.
Where?
I don't know.
Where they have Mexican yogurt?
I didn't know they had that yet.
What mall is that?
I'm not sure there is that yet, but wouldn't that be wonderful?
No acid rain in a mall.
That's true.
No smog in a mall.
Oh, that's right, boy.
Don't you worry about atmosphere.
Yeah.
You get all the atmosphere you want in a mall.
You're right, though.
And
It's
it's
pretty
safe. I'm telling you that the jury is out on photosynthesis.
What are you talking about?
Photosynthesis can be argued both ways.
Well, wait, we need plants and flowers.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Plants and flowers in the wrong hands is a dangerous thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You go into a hospital.
Yeah.
You go into a patient's room and it's filled with flowers and
Yeah.
plants.
Mm-hmm. They're all there.
Right. What's the first thing a nurse does when she goes in that room?
Well, it's nighttime. She takes them out.
Why?
Because they consume the air.
Bingo.
Ouch. Oh, boy.
Don't be nervous.
Well,
Relax.
I'm a little concerned.
What's Mr.
Everyman?
Everyman. You're living in the best country in the world. Where are you living?
America.
That's right, because you elect the people you want to represent you.
Mm-hmm.
What are they called?
Politics.